Hey there, it's Fi. We're checking out Ooga Booga, Dino Survival. This is a game I've not played before. We're going to give it a playtest, see if we can give some useful feedback. Got the game page open here. It says 1930X, the famed ocean liner SS Magdalene, veers off course towards her original destination. It sounds slightly awkward, the wording there, but leaving the world to speculate on the lives of those on board. Little do they know the crew have found themselves aground on a mysterious island. A work-in-progress dino survival game. So, I've not seen anything past the screen here. There's some audio, which seems to have disappeared. I guess the music wasn't looping and it stopped playing. I know that it stops when the game loses focus apparently, but anyways, we're here. It says please set up your player profile to continue. We've got player options and big text here. I don't know what that is. I don't seem to be able to click on it or whatever. Enter your name, do that, and we got select profile picture. Oop. Oh, we got little sounds. What is that? Sounds sort of like plucking violin or something. Interesting. Master, expert, zombie slayer. I don't really care. Let's go ahead and say, oh, save and exit. So this is quite a screen. All right, we got precursor edition, Ooga Booga, Dino Survival, main menu, single player, multiplayer options, change name, quit to desktop. Let's go ahead and click on options. We got, oh, look at all these options. I wonder if these are all working. So most people don't do any of this until they're like years into development, it seems. These are turned off. I'm gonna try setting that to 120 and see what that does. That could be a good setting. Get our volumes here. Auto reload when empty is on. Sensitivity. Oh, that's important. Yeah. So we've got gamepad. Mouse sensitivity 0.3. So I don't know how that's gonna work out yet. I will mention real quick. I have a new mouse. I'm not really very used to this. I had my old mouse for 9 years and I replaced it with one that's completely different. So I don't know, in terms of my accuracy and stuff, I'm not sure that it's gonna be as good, but I guess we just go ahead and click on single player. We got 5 as it is right here. Change level. Host. We got a chat over there. Looks like there's a pretty robust feature set despite the kind of rough appearance to everything. Text block. Hunting grounds. Okay. So there's only one level, it looks like. Oh, this is right down here. Select character. We've got different colors. I can be... Whoa, that's very black. Right. Let's be pink. Ooh, glowy pink. Okay. Options is here. Alright. Interesting. Okay, so something I noticed. I tried to hit the escape key to get out of the options menu and it didn't do anything. So generally it's pretty much a standard at this point. Escape is kind of like the back button whenever you're in a menu in a game. So that would be good to implement. Let's just go ahead and click start, I think. See what happens. So it looks like, okay, we're in third person. Alright, so I think... I mean, it looks to me like the blur and the VSync are on, in spite of the fact that in the settings, these are ticked off. So it could be the case that none of these actually work even, for all I know. Oh, okay, so this is in borderless. Let's see if this works. Nice, okay. So that should help in terms of being able to actually switch VSync off. It looks like we can't actually pause the game to change the settings. So that's okay. Let's click on restart. Looks like we still have blur, I think. I'm not seeing any tearing. It definitely feels a little laggy. Yeah, so it's a bit unfortunate. Anytime I'm playing a shooter, I always want to have VSync. Oh, that got ticked back on again. Wait a minute. Is it off now? Oh, did I see tearing? Yeah, I see tearing. Okay, it's a little hard to see because of I think the blur. Wait, I can't I can't access the settings because I'm dying or something. Oh, Oh, okay, so this is, it confused me because I just thought I was looking at a blank screen, but everything's up here, so I just didn't see this stuff. So motion blur, is that gonna work now? Oh, so it's like less blurry, but I think there's still a blur. I think he just had like extra blur on or something. That's really weird. Is it? Yeah, there's tearing, right? It's a little hard to see, but okay, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit. I'm trying to test out like the latency. It's always like the big thing for me when playing shooters. It doesn't feel that bad, but you know, the lower latency you can get on the mouse input, the better for accuracy. So I guess it shows in the bottom right in very quite small text. It shows ammo, I think. And it's hard to aim this. I'm trying to see if I can get like headshots or something. It feels very awkward. Might be the third person because they're so close or something. Might also need to put that up a little bit. All right, I want to hit escape to get back in the game. That's also like if you use an escape key to pause. Oh, that actually does unpause. All right, so yeah, that's the other thing. So this works fine, but like if I go into a menu, suddenly I can't. Wait, it just worked. Okay, so it only works in some places in the menu. Okay, so it looks like you have the idea. But right now, okay, so right now the escape key isn't working. Maybe it's because of I don't know if it's because I'm using the mouse and the game kind of takes the control away from the keyboard or something like that, or it's just some other bug. But yeah, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, let's see if we can actually play a little bit. Looks like I can run kind of standard stuff. I can jump. I can crouch with C. Okay, I'd prefer that to be on control, but obviously that's a matter of taste and more importantly a matter of adding key bindings, but that's okay for now. So we do have this grass that obscures a lot of, whoa, the dino-ness here. Like I can't. Is it a rock? Oh. Alright, so another thing that helps a lot I think is, I mean, for one thing, you're kind of visually obscuring the dinos quite a bit, which I think is probably intended to some degree, but it's also potentially pretty frustrating probably. You know. But I think it would help a lot to have more audio, like being able to hear them coming, their footsteps and stuff like that. I'm gonna try turning it up a little bit. Oh, I hear it's... Okay, okay. There's a little bit. It's just, they have to be really close before you can start hearing them, it seems like. Yeah, so that's just a matter of kind of tuning the distances with the listener and stuff. The audio source. I think that would help, and you know, maybe make it a little more obvious. Max ammo, I guess. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can stand on this. Okay, this might be advantageous. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing. Looking for like motion. Yep, there they are. So there's a little bit of... I did see blood splatters at some point, but it's like really kind of hard to see depending on like the lighting and stuff. It's really important to get that... Oh gosh. So again, with like not being able to hear them coming and stuff. But it's really important to get some really solid feedback on if you're hitting the enemies or not. That's why it's like becomes such a big thing to have like little hit markers, a little X that appears in the reticle or whatever. Usually like a sound effect or something just to tell you that you hit something. You know, that's a perfectly valid way to do it also, but if you don't want to do that, just make some kind of really obvious visual, like you could try to make the little blood splatters like way more visible or something, but I'm definitely lacking a little bit of the... See right here, it's like I can see it because it's just the lighting and the the way it's kind of making a silhouette against the bright background or whatever. But in other cases, I can't really see it very well. And sometimes even right then, it was like I couldn't really see it because maybe it was spawning the blood splatter in a place I couldn't see or something. I'm not sure. Or for all I know, it just wasn't counting that the bullet was hitting. You know, that's kind of the importance of the feedback. So yeah, like actually know if the game is registering the hits or not. So I'm not sure. Like, should I go somewhere else in here? I haven't really explored the area very much. I know there's dinos coming. And if you really, whoa, all right, camera gets a little weird sometimes. I'm trying to run. Sometimes it doesn't kick in. I don't know. I don't think there's like stamina. I think, okay, so I think you have to be pressing W. Even if you're going diagonal, you have to at least be pressing W or you can't run. So if I'm like strafing and I'm trying to hit the run button, it doesn't work. Which, by the way, let me see if I can survive these guys long enough to... Oh, gosh. Yeah, when they get too close, it's like the aiming becomes wonky because of their... the way that they're kind of point blank, it's like you can't get the reticle on them properly. I wonder if you want them to, I don't know, just like, wow, that looks really weird. Why is that happening? Okay. I wonder if you want them to maybe like stand a meter away or something while they attack you instead of getting that close, where you can't aim at them properly anymore. I don't know how many dinos am I supposed to expect. All right. Oh, I actually just used up all of the ammo, which is interesting. Like, I wasn't really shooting wildly that much, so I don't know what am I supposed to look for in terms of finding more ammo. Alright, we got invisible walls. It doesn't really feel very good, especially because it doesn't visually look like I should be hitting that. And in a survival game like this, if you're like constantly running from things and you just like hit this wall, that could be super frustrating. You could just die here. So you probably want to be careful about that. What was I going to say before? I don't remember anymore, but it might be interesting to have... Well, you actually have the grass moving when the player runs through it, but not... I don't see it moving when the dinos run through it, so I actually wonder... You know, was that something considered? Because it just would make an awful lot of sense to see the grass kind of rustling around, you know, with enemies coming at you. That'd be cool. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So, like, if I'm holding the shift key... Like if I say I'm running this way and oh my gosh, okay, it's hard to do this because I'm gonna die. Say I'm running left or right, then I press the shift key. I'm like, okay, I want to run now. It doesn't work because I'm not pressing W, right? But then like if I'm holding shift and then I press W afterwards, it still doesn't run. So it's like I'm holding down W and shift, but it's not running. Does that make sense? Because I pressed the keys in the wrong order. I definitely recommend just making it so that it would start running in that case. Just a little quality of life detail, but wow, this is interesting. It's like a little dead end over here, I think. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we can do this. This is fun. Get a nice view of the map. But yeah, it's a nice quality of life detail. It's one of these things, it always seems like such a tiny thing, but it, like working at these little weird little niggles in the controls that can kind of get sort of frustrating for the player really goes a long way because it when you're talking about the controls, it's like the very core of the game. It's what the player is constantly interacting with, and you know, it's the player's connection to the game. So they constantly have to deal with this. So if there's any little thing that you can just make kind of a little bit nicer for the player in that way, obviously that wouldn't negatively affect the gameplay. Then that's really good. I'll try return to the lobby here. I don't think there's anything else for me to check out really. I don't know if there's any other guns to find. Now, does it? I don't think it ever mentioned the controls, so maybe I didn't like try enough buttons. Maybe like I didn't try different number keys or anything to see if there's different weapons. So, you know, there's nothing to indicate that I should do that. So I guess I haven't tried it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and. Interesting. I have to click change level before I can. Oh, I still can't click start game. Why? Okay, I had to choose. All right, let's go ahead and be orange. Number keys. Oh, top right, it says zombies this round 6. I'm trying the scroll wheel. Doesn't appear to be doing anything. Oh, we got the chat open. There's a crouch. Yeah, so I don't see any. Oh, Q opens up developer mode. Okay. There's our tab screen. The dinos are coming. Oh, we got little ray traces here in developer mode, so that's fun. Yeah, I don't see anything in terms of other weapons or other items or other buttons I can play with, so presumably this is what we got, unless there's like maybe at some point you could find a different gun or something. If you survive enough rounds, it just appears. It does seem like it's a little scarce on giving you ammo, and if it's it just seems like an RNG thing, which is probably not what you want. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, well, speaking of other guns, F to purchase weapon for 0. Okay. Looks like I can use them. Alright, looks like the number keys and the scroll wheel works for changing weapons. Now I don't really know which one I. Alright, I can't visually. Okay, as far as I can tell, they're both semi-auto rifles, so they're just the same thing. So even though I picked up a different gun, it's just the same gun, which is kind of weird. But maybe you can only have 2 or something? So I've got the other one on my back, so maybe you can only carry 2 of them, which might make sense to have one. Like if there's more than 2 weapons, maybe you'd want to go back at some point and get the semi-auto again or something, I don't know. But of course that would suggest that you might want to have like a check to see if that was the gun you already had. This wouldn't really make a lot of sense to buy it or pick it up again, I guess. I'm not sure if this is reasonable to go back here. I'm guessing this is still out of bounds. That I believe this wall is supposed to be the barrier, like the perimeter of the play area, but interesting to see back here nonetheless. We got some background geometry here. It doesn't look like we're going to get any further than this. I think there's a dino right there, but oh, I'm trying to run. Yeah, so that's really frustrating if I'm holding the shift and I'm like trying to run and it's just not working. That's one of those things that just feels bad. Alright, so presumably well, I don't know for sure, but there may be other weapons hidden around somewhere. Just don't know where else to look. You can't really see very far in the distance, at least not with any detail. Like you can look up and just see like trees around, but just the way the terrain is and the height of the grass, it's like if there's stuff to find out there, you can't really see it from a distance. So you don't have a sense of like, oh, I can go over there to check that out. Like I can see something, I can go see what it is. It's more like just run around and hope you run into something, you know what I mean? Oh, this is interesting. Oh gosh. Alright, it seems like I should be able to get up there. Alright, there's an invisible wall here. Interesting. So I presume this is an exploit. I don't know if like headshots mean anything. Uh-oh, I think I'm hitting the rock. X4. I want that. Ow. Quad points. Alright, give me the points. I noticed the healing, like the self-heal is quite generous. I could assume that might just be for demo purposes or whatever. You can't really expect the game to be, oh gosh, like well-balanced at this point, probably. But I think that's a good choice, especially for testing and such, for new players. But yeah, there's just a lot of grass, and this seems like a lot of the experience is just kind of not really quite being able to see the dinos. Wow, okay, camera does some wacky things occasionally. Dinos take quite a lot of shots. Honestly, some of the... Oh, try not to die here. Unfortunately, it's hard to like talk and do this simultaneously. Oh boy. There's a lot of them at the moment. Is this a different area where I can get out of bounds, or is it like... Yeah, this is different. It's not the same one. It's interesting. Well, probably safe out here to, to talk for a moment, but yeah, so I noticed that... Oh, okay, they're coming, but... I noticed the dinos are kind of bullet spongy, so... Oh gosh, I'm out of ammo. And both guns take the same ammo. That's too bad. So, okay, so say you run out of ammo, what do you do at that point? Do you just die? Because I don't believe there's any other way that you can... I mean, I guess you could run and try and find something else hidden in the map, but I'm not sure if anything else is there. I wasn't intentionally jumping out of here, but I don't care that much, to be honest. Yeah, it's interesting because I did find a weapon to pick up, but I don't... It's not obvious that there's other things out there. I don't know where to look. Like I said before, you can't really see anything. But what I was saying before is that the dinos are kind of bullet spongy, so that means you have to really lay into them to get them to go down. This type of game really benefits tremendously, in my opinion, from having the weapons kill quite fast. And what you could do is you can just, you know, you can just send tons and tons of enemies at the player, but they have like so much firepower that they can kind of deal with it. It's just much more satisfying. And you also, you get into this situation where you're not just like constantly running straight and then like turning around and shooting and then running straight and then turning around and shooting, that kind of thing. You can kind of support more of a play style where you can... Sure, sometimes you run, but you can also kind of keep everything under control by being able to shoot and aim fast enough, you know, kill them all around you, because, you know, maybe they just die in 1 or 2 shots or something. It's a lot more satisfying and interesting flow of gameplay, in my opinion. So I would absolutely recommend experimenting with dropping that HP pool for the enemies down much lower. And for this type of game, really what you want to do is you kind of want to balance the weapons around like the number of shots that you want them to take down the enemies, right? So it's not just like arbitrary numbers. You like really want to take into account, okay, you know, 2 shots. You just have to think about how you want it to feel, you know, like maybe 1 shot or 2 shot or 1 shot to the head or something with this particular gun, and a different gun you might want it to be a little different or whatever. I'm just mentioning that from experience. But it would absolutely help a lot to be able to take out these dinos a lot quicker than I can so I'm not just like constantly running and then turning around, shooting a little bit and running and rinse and repeat. And yeah, because the grass, unfortunately, a lot of times I'm just kind of spamming more than really aiming with precision. So you could probably use a little bit less of that. I think it makes sense to have grass like this for like maybe part of the map, because it's sort of, it does create an interesting effect where you can't quite see the enemies, and that makes it kind of scary or whatever. Like maybe there's a strategic element there where maybe the grass is kind of dangerous. But when it's kind of covering almost the whole map, feels a little bit too much. Like maybe you want to have more areas that are a little bit open, maybe broader areas that are more open, and then you can kind of more strategically place the high grass in different parts. Like, oh, I'm getting stuck on the invisible walls here. It's funny, you can kind of bounce in their heads a little bit. Alright. Yeah, so we've probably seen enough of the game. If there's other guns or whatever hidden in here, I apologize. I apologize for not finding them, but as it is, it seems like it's you know, a fairly straightforward beginning to something. So yeah, I appreciate how much is in here in terms of like all the settings and stuff that apparently do. I didn't play with all these settings, but these two work, so I might assume everything else does. It's cool to see that much stuff. This is like the stuff that nobody wants to do usually, so they put it off. So it's cool to see that all kind of implemented. In terms of the gameplay, I mean, I already said what there's to say, so I won't reiterate, but hopefully that was useful. It'll be interesting to see where you go with this. Obviously, there's many different paths to go down from this point, so hopefully that was useful for you. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.